Hey everybody, I just want to show maybe some younger people that are learning how to drive or younger teamsters or whatever. There, there's a lot of things that Mr. Fergie has taught me, who's been logging for many years with horses. And one of them is my horse is sitting solid and not jumping the load. And I really questioned him on this a lot when I was starting out. I just didn't believe him, honestly. And through him pestering at me enough, I finally started to give things a go, and he was right. Uh, anyway, I had my reasons for thinking the way I did, and I was wrong. So right here, I do kind of a crappy job driving. I got to load this first log up. I don't use skid poles, which means I have to chop the rear wheel of the wagon with a PV hook. And I let my horse Gus, who's the horse furthest away from us, I let him get slack in his lines, and I let him jerk when he comes up. And it rips the PV hook out of my hand, and I had to kind of jump back. But I didn't know if the log was going to jump the blocks or not, and I just didn't do a good job of driving. So let's check this out. Kind of subtle. If you don't know what you're looking at, you don't really notice it. Let's watch it again. Watch the horse furthest away from me, and you'll see him peel back, and then when he feels the traces get tight, he jerks forward. And watch when he does how that rips that out of my hands and snatch that log. And that's just because of bad driving. That's not the horse's fault. That's the driver's fault. Let's watch what I'm going for. I do a better job here. A couple of logs later. Gotta move my blocks out. A couple of inches, a few little tweaks here and there on this wagon makes a very big difference, and we'll see that on the next clip. I'm not real tight with this wagon. I'm not terrible at it, but I'm not great at it either. That's what I'm looking for. I'll swing the team around, tighten things up at the rear just a touch. Nice. So that's what I'm going for. That's the type of pull I'm going for. A nice, smooth, steady, controlled pull, and not that snatching business. And there's a lot of benefits to it. Right here, I screw up. This wagon's 2 inches narrower than the wagon I'm used to. And so I miscalculated the size of the logs, the size of the wagon. And right here, I had to really trust those horses. When they come up, for them to actually stop when I say stop, because if they just jerked when I'm not holding those lines and didn't stop, they would flip that wagon over on top of me, possibly kill my ass. And they're not real tight on. There's been times where they would hold that log tight and just keep it from moving and be a bit more smoother. It's been a while since I've been on this wagon, and so they're not real tight. That's generally just the teamster's fault. But right here, I'm scooting the block out. I'm trying to make room for these big logs. Instead of trying to fight them with a PV hook, I decided to use the team here in a little bit. Scoot the blocks out a little bit. It's still not enough. Use my team to tighten things up instead of me having to fight with PV hook, and that log just doesn't want to cooperate. So I have to really trust these horses. When I come this side, they're keeping the log from rolling down and crushing me. They're holding the log from just rolling off. And when I go around the other side, I gotta really trust them. I gotta be on my toes. Nothing says that they can't spook or something won't happen. They, do crush me. But I've been working with these guys for years, and so There we go. Made room. And I'll leave it hooked because I figure I'll be safer. So this is a big load on that wagon. You're going to see me top it out here. It's going to be over 700 board feet. We generally pull between 500 board feet on load. This one's a little over 700 board feet. It's just a real nice run to the landing, so I'm able to go big with it. I really like logging with this wagon, and the terrain allows. It's kind of finicky in some ways, but it adds some spice to the day. I'm always learning something new about it. Just been logging this wagon for, since before the Noah's Ark was made. So he's got some age to him, but he'll still work me into dirt with it. I'm moving way faster, working way harder, and he just looks like he's moving slower than a slug on salt. And then he just gets his logs to the landing before I do. Don't know how, but he's good. There's lots of rooms for improvement, that's for sure. You'll see this axe flip off, but it did its job to keep it from rolling over. Yeah. Hey, that's a load. Alright guys, y'all have a good one. Maybe y'all learn a little something from this, and I always do. Every time I see me drive or do things, I always see lots of room for improvement. Y'all have a good one.